for women doing stand-up comedy is a little harder than for men. I mean, socially they're permitted to say whatever they want. We are too, but not so much.
Hey, Common Sense Dirt, thank you so much for joining us. If you are interested in anything showbiz related, common sense tips, or spiritual advice, you have come to the right place. I am so ecstatic to bring to you an extraordinary actress, singer, comedian, and just a wonderful spiritual person. Please help me welcome Sully Diaz. Sully! Hi, Sully! What was the catalyst for you to start doing stand-up?
Well, I was bored between auditions and jobs. And then I joined a class with Judy Carter because I thought I can be out on stage on my own. I can do that. So let me learn how to do that. And that's what I did. I did my first 5 minutes. I killed. And so a bug got into me. And you know what? Stand-up gave me so much confidence that then I started going to the auditions and I was booking more work.
You approached me about doing Hot and Spicy Mamitas. You said, I want to do an all Latin female show. And I was like, okay, let's do it. I had just finished co-producing Funny Ladies of Color, and I really wasn't interested in getting back into groups, but you were so adamant about, yeah, we have to do this. This is great. And so that was the birth of Hot and Spicy Mamitas. You know, your persistence of saying, no, we can do this. This will be great. And once we did it, once we actually got all the women, started booking spots at the different comedy venues, something started to happen. You want to talk about that?
Well, at first I had spoken to Ludovica, one of the girls, about doing it, but she wasn't a producer, and neither was I. So we didn't have that know-how to produce. So it was like, And so I went to you. I said, Lydia, I spoke to Ludo, and I would like to do this. But I was the one that really wanted to do it because Ludo was working quite professional. She was doing professional venues at the time, so she didn't need us. But
right, she was doing Vegas. She was doing. She was going all over the country.
So I went to you and I said, "Let's do it." Ignorance is bliss, because I had nothing else to do but to be a mother to my son, and I had time to do that. And so I engaged with you in such a way, and then boom, something happened that we were not ready for. All of a sudden, we found out that we had there was a niche. There's a space for women like us. We had something to say, and people wanted to hear it.
Well, I think what was so special about the group, first of all, the chemistry with you, me, Ludo, Diana, Marilyn, and in the beginning we had Debbie Gutierrez, and then she left to go have her incredible career, and then Diana Ortelli came in, which became the perfect blend because you had a Puerto Rican, you had a New Yorkican, you had a Dominican, you had a Mexican from Mexico, you had a Mexican from New Mexico, and the combination of all these women and these personalities just worked. It just worked. Even though we weren't doing our stand-ups together, just the energy of the group worked. The show was something that no one had ever seen before. You hadn't seen these fiery Latinas from different avenues of life come together and just bring their stuff. Every time we performed somewhere, we packed it out. And what impressed me the most, and then I'll throw it back to you, was that we always had men MCs. And whenever they seemed to go a little bit too long, the audience would kind of boo them off. Like, okay, that's enough. Bring the women.
which is so ironic because for women doing stand-up comedy is a little harder than for men. I mean, socially they're permitted to say whatever they want. We are too, but not so much. It's harder for us. We all know that. So that was incredible. But we were so feisty, we were so happy. We were really so happy. And I'm sure that came across.
And the audience was excited. It wasn't like a regular comedy show. I mean, they were there for us. They weren't there just to see comedy. They came to support the Mamitas. It was always wonderful to see how the club owners reacted to see the audience engaging with us. We did the improv, and the guys from the kitchen ran out when you were on stage and lost their minds. It was like, Sully Diaz! Sully Diaz! It's Sully Diaz! Because they knew you from Corelitos.
Yeah, from the novela. Yeah. It was wonderful. And we even had a billboard on Sunset Boulevard. I mean, who would have known, huh, Lydia, when we started this? Who would have known? It was we have our CD and everything.
We had merch. We had a lot of merchandise. Remember, we had the T-shirts that Shelley Wood got us, where it was a drawing of us, a sketch of us that somebody, I believe from Homeboy Industries, drew of us. And then we had the candles, the candles that we put the little prayers on with our picture, and we sold that for a while.
It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. And I found a place in Hollywood. Well, I had found it first when I stepped into the Laugh Factory Latino night. I said, oh my God, I belong. And then from that moment on, I felt there was some place in Los Angeles where I belonged. And I felt accepted. And then when I started meeting all the comics, from different places, some from Mexico, some from Nicaragua. I met everyone. It was Carlos Mencia, Willie Barcena, Rudy Moreno, my fabulous, wonderful, adored Frankie C, which helped me develop my comedy later on. And I met you at the Comedy Store.
Yes.
At the moment, something had happened that I didn't have a job. It was not a right moment. And then you wrote a check for $250 and you gave it to me. And I'm like, what? What are you doing? I'm like, take it. I took it. And then I gave it back to you. I don't know when you needed it, but that was such a beautiful gesture.
You were a single mom, and so I had a heart for you because I was a single mom, and I knew how difficult it was to be doing your work and taking care of your kid, and that's a horrible feeling as a single mom that you're struggling. We were the single moms. Even though Diana had a child, he was already grown. He was already, teenager at that point. We had little ones.
Yeah, when I got there, my son was 1.5 years old. That's what he was. And then we hit that earthquake, that horrible earthquake at 92, was it?
91.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But you know what? You stuck it out, and that's what it is. It's about following through. It's about commitment, and that's what you have in spades. You are committed, you are dedicated, you show up, you persevere. And that, I think that was the wonderful thing about Hot and Spicy Mamitas, is that we didn't care. In the beginning, the guys were like making fun. It was like, oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, that's cute. But when they saw the audiences that we were bringing, there was a shift for us.
Yeah, they said, well, they're onto something, all right.
Yeah. And then at that point, we started getting the respect. Because what we were doing was not, now you got all these groups, you got all these shows with women, but the magnitude of what we did back then, when, if one woman was on a bill, that was a lot. And Latino nights, if you had 3 women, oh my God, that was unspeakable. It's like, there's 3 Latina women? What? That usually was never the case. And so here we come, and we're like five of us, and we're taking over, and we took over. And what was great was we got to take over all the clubs. The Comedy Store was great that they let us do the main room. We got to do the main room at the Improv, and we got to do the Laugh Factory regularly, and we got to do our CD at the Ice House. I mean, we were kicking ass.
Oh, the press. Yeah, we got press. And one thing that we never did that is it turns off people. Something we never talked about, our hormones. That hormonal thing that women like to talk about and nobody wants to listen to. We never talked about that. And I think that was very important because that was a topic that people don't like.
We came in with balls. We weren't coming in with hormones. We came in with big giant balls. Now that you say that, it would never have occurred to me to even talk about that on stage. I wanted to be with the boys. I wanted to hold my own. It was hard enough being a girl. I didn't want to billboard that.
It's that it didn't even occur to us because we were not into that. Talking about that, and we weren't. And I think that's why men liked watching us too, because we never talked about that specific thing that nobody likes.
And
which is real because we're a walking hormone, but
we were really about empowerment. Our show was really about empowerment. It was like we came in there and you were so deceptive because you came in so sexy and so provocative, and then you would like slam people in the most lovely way. It was just wonderful. And then Marilyn would come in with her filthy mouth and just start talking, start talking about phone sex. It was delicious. And then you had Ludovica doing Vegas, and you had Diana Ortelli talking about cholos. And
we did that in LA. But then when I came to Puerto Rico again to live, I said, I'm going to do this with some gals in Puerto Rico, and we're going to hit it big. It was called Sully's Comedy Divas, and I was the host. And I invited you, Lydia.
Yes.
And we worked on your act, and we translated it to Spanish. We worked and worked on it. You worked on it so hard. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. When this woman got on stage, she killed in the most ferocious way because your material in Spanish with your accent and your reality and your demeanor just became like 10 times stronger, and people were delighted with you, delighted.
But that had to do with, first of all, your coaching, your helping me, because if you remember, I had gone there before with Ludo, and we had done the sex show in Puerto Rico with some other comics. It was Mike Robles.
We invited Bertilla Damas. We invited Bertilla because
yes.
One of the girls couldn't make it.
After we did it in Miami, that's right, Bertilla did do it with us. Then when we went to, then after we did it in Miami, he wanted us to come to Puerto Rico, and only me and Ludo, for whatever reason, it was just me and Ludo, so they brought two guys. The audience hated me. I mean, you talk about an audience just turning on you. They were not having me at all. So that when I went back to do it with you, I was on a mission. I was like, you know what? I am going to give the best I can. So I remember being at your house for almost a week and a half, just working. I had worked on the material before, but we worked on it and worked on it.
Writing and rewriting. Yeah.
And it was, yeah, but it also had to do because you gave me some of the inside of the island people.
Yes,
you know,
and let me tell you something about stand-up comedy in Spanish and in English. First of all, it's a genre that it came from the Jewish people
from
the
Vaudeville.
Catskills, right? And then North America adopted it, and we're not used to seeing women talking about such personal things, okay? In Latin America, that is just like a no. I mean, when from the time you're growing up, if you're a boy, they're telling you have a whole bunch of girlfriends, have a whole bunch of girlfriends. But if you're a girl, they're telling you, don't give your,
Mm-hmm.
take care of your
Protect
coochie,
your goods. Yeah, protect those goods.
two different things. Now, then, doing it on stage, live for people, is quite different from doing it on camera. Remember, the audience you had was, like what? The ladies that don't work, that are always watching novelas, they were never going to understand what you were doing. They must have said, "What's wrong with her?" Because they're not. It's not part of our culture to speak that way.
What were one of your favorite moments with Hot and Spicy Mamitas? Do you have a couple of favorite moments that you remember that stand out for you?
I had so many fabulous moments, Lydia. Really,
How about Fourth and B in San Diego, where we went down with Frankie C, and we had over 1,000 people?
that was amazing. That was amazing. And nobody knew us, but there we are. There we were.
What would you say to young women out there who are single moms, who are trying to have a career and take care of their children at the same time?
Well, I will have to quote Oprah Winfrey, because this quote from Oprah has been like a major a major rule in my life. One thing at a time. Take care of this. You took care of that. Now you take care of this. You took care of that. Now you take care of this. One thing at a time. Don't go crazy. And yes, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. And it's hard work, but we've all done it. So many women have done it. So many women have done it with 4 children. I don't even know how they do that. To take one situation at a time.
How do you think being a mom has affected your life as you look at stuff? It's like from being a single woman to then being married to then being a single mom, and remaining an artist, and now you have different lenses, so that having been a mother, you bring that to the table in everything you do.
Well, when you're a mother, the thing you love the most in your life is your son or your daughter, your children. That's what you love the most. It's like you're not selfish that way. You're less selfish, and they make you go through so many emotions, raising them. That definitely you can use all those emotions for your acting, because they never stop. And they surprise you. So you're more profound when you're a mother.